Hello and welcome to the Harbour by Night, scene of our level 17 episode of Purple Does Potions. We're going along quite nicely now with most of this series. It takes me a while to get into some sort of rhythm, routine, the feel for where I've put the different things, how they all come together to make a half decent build. I think we're beginning to get there, to find a bit of a rhythm now, and I hope to show that in the quest to come, in before it's a total cock up. But there's we have our little hopes, don't we? I have quite a few little notes made here. No changes to gear or anything, so it's going to let me go through my observations on where we're at and how we've been going along so far. Things to note. One thing I did want to mention, the skills that you get. I've touched on it before. Oh, hang on. No, that's where are we? Where am I going? Skills. There are an awful lot of class skills in here, useful stuff, the bluff, diplomacy, search, spot. So all of these can come in quite handy to you as you go along. The conversational dialogue and the, finding secret doors and that kind of thing. It's all been quite handy to me going through Shan. Now, one of you will be quick to point out, I'm sure, that I don't have the Golden Guile around at the moment. But we do have this alluring elixir. Did you notice the social skills, bluff and diplomacy going up by 4 as we did that? I think it's all charisma based skills, so I'm guessing intimidate went up as well if you were into that kind of thing, which obviously we're not. But that's a nice little added extra that we can have if we need it. Reaper trees, obviously level 17 is time for the 3rd tier, so we're reaping, no pun intended, or maybe slightly intended, the benefits of our 50 plus points that we've acquired from our warlock time at the cap doing the legendary quests. So we have a nice mix of caster and tanky tree. Plenty of extra reflex saves in Reaper, extra hit points, dodge. I've gone into the spell pen side of the caster tree as well, because as we know, Turn to Frog has spell resistance check. We do have a nice bit of spell pen on the gear. We also have a wizard and a favoured soul past life, giving us 3 more spell pen, plus this in the tree. So I wouldn't expect us to fail that check too often, but you never quite know. So more is better, I suppose. We have been making great use of that Turn to Frog. From memory, when I first played the class, I used this very sparingly, and I have an idea as to why. I think I did my best to just stick in the orange, the pyrite reaction. And so anything that was blue that took me out of that reaction, any kind of boost, buffs, this kind of thing, I would routinely shun it. This time around, I've kind of gone the opposite way. I've more or less ignored the reaction state and just played the game. If I want to do a Turn to Frog, I'll do a Turn to Frog. If I want to do a boost or a buff, I'll do it, renew it. And I think it's made for a more enjoyable game experience. Yes, I'm missing the slight benefits of being in the pyrite state, and also the opportunity to spike, for big extra damage. But honestly, unless you're really pushing the limits difficulty-wise, I've found that you don't need to pay too much attention to that. It's one of the things I think that might put people off trying the class. My experience so far and previously tells me that you totally can go through the life, enjoy everything that's good about it, without paying too much attention to the reaction thing. I mean, if you go and you decide, oh, it's great, and I'll go and I'll do 4 or 5 lives of this, maybe you get into a routine where everything is second nature, so then you can devote more time to focusing on the reaction, then great. It's not the case for me. I'm just trying to roll the spells out in the right order and try to fit the right spell to the right situation. That's more than enough challenge for me as it stands. So I have ignored that side. Whatever comes up there comes up there. It's not too much of an issue for me. I did a little look into max caster level because I touched on that in a previous, I think it was in the last one, wasn't it? We took Advanced Studies Pyrite. So between that and the normal Pyrite studies, we have 2 max caster level for all our offensive spells, the yellow and red ones. We also have in the top of the tree here, where is it? There you go. Another 2. Oh no, that's 2 caster levels, isn't it? And the studies are the caster levels, not max caster level. My bad. So let's start again. The advanced studies and the studies of Pyrite are giving 2 caster level in total to these yellow and red spells, and here we have another 2, so we have 4 in total. But most of our nastier spells, like the multi-vial, are capped at 20 for max caster level. So I was wondering, are we going to get any use out of these extra 4 caster levels that we've obtained? And the answer is yes, particularly if you plan to play at the cap with the build, because apparently every 2 epic levels and legendary levels you get an extra one on your max caster level. So by level 28, if I understand it correctly, we will have the full benefit of our 4 extra caster levels, because our max caster level will then be 24. And at the cap at level 32, we would have, if I understand it right, a max caster level of 26 for our top level spells. So we will, towards the back end of Epic, get use out of those feats that we've selected, which is nice to know. And of course at the moment, with us being below level 20, we are getting some use from them now, because we're able to add 3 caster levels to our nastier spells. So these should already be at level 20, if I understand it correctly, the Caustic Overload and the Multi-Vial. Now then, let me try and piece through these notes. Yes, I've reorganized, as you might have seen here, the Bombard tree. It's time we switched out of these little spell-like abilities, I think. And I was desperate for Quicken. So we've put 6 points there to help the Quicken. I've quickened everything except for the tiddly little spells at the bottom, which I just use to try and eliminate, like finishing single targets off, that kind of thing. My favourite single target decimator is the frog, but obviously that costs a bit more mana. It's amazing, the frog, I mean, when you get like mini bosses and just turn it to frog, and some of the stuff you would never believe you could, like a lot of the construct type stuff in Shan. Even the mage fire cannons turn to frog, gone. So awesome spell, that. I'm still discovering what can and can't be done by it, but most of the stuff you fire on, with the exception of Reapers and Golems. Golems are a problem for this build. We can't turn them to frog, we can't flash freeze them from what I can tell, and we are dealing reduced damage to them, so they're a bit of a spell point sponge. But aside from that, we really are doing well. So yes, no more spell-like abilities. We've got Quicken helped in the tree and added to our main spells that we're using to try and make the whole thing, like flash freeze and then multi-vial, to make it feel a bit less clunky and more seamless. Bottled boosts in particular suffer from a real slowdown if you don't have quicken, like sprint boost, which I like to use. Spell power boost if you use that. I haven't got it on at the moment because I'm using the spell power from the human tree instead. But yeah, any bottle boost that you like to use, if you're not quickening it, you're going to find that quite painful. Yeah, so in place of the spell-like abilities that we were using as finishers, I've just picked up three, well, it's the equivalents, but without meta magics on. They do still, they're all level 1, just level 1 acid, electric and cold. They do still fire out fairly quickly, our little finishers, 2 spell points a time, so you can't say fairer than that. And there's another acid one at level 2, corrode weapons, a bit more expensive, a bit more damage. I've put the 2 acid ones first. So those are our little finishing things for things that just need mopping up for a low cost. What's this trying to decipher my writing? Yeah, that was just talking about the spell-like abilities losing their luster. Now I noticed this one here it's an AoE, but it's still only max caster 10. So it looks to me like it wouldn't do too much more damage-wise than what these things are doing. Although it is 1d6 plus 3, isn't it? Per caster level, but it still looks underwhelming to me. I haven't even tried it, to be honest. I'm happy with where we are without. What have we got here? Appeal. Yeah, I've just mentioned that. Okay. I think I've already covered the virtues of frog. I mean, we've seen it in the last episode, the subversion thing. Those 4 elemental bosses, I mean, they can be pretty tough, but it absolutely trivialized that, and it's got that potential to just, like, mini boss pops up, frog, bye bye. It's more than satisfying when you can do that. The elemental combination I mentioned might be a good way to put the vulnerability on bosses. But it does depend. It does works nicely when you lead with it, and then you can see some purple numbers coming, but it does depend on the reaction being pyrite. So that's one area where I'm hurting myself a bit by not being in pyrite. Another one would be, while in pyrite reaction, gain 2% spell critical damage. That's damage, not critical chance. So we're only losing 2, 4, 6%. It's pretty trivial, to be honest. It's a relatively small buff, that. I think in the past it was critical chance, and that might explain why I was dead set on staying in the orange, the pyrite reaction, in the past when I played it. To be fair, I prefer like this. Yes, I'm losing out a little bit, but overall, just being able to cast what I want when I want, like the frog. I'm almost certain that's why I shunned the frog, because it was a blue spell, so kind of outside of my yellow and orange area. And I think I lost out on a really fun and effective tool there in the Alchemist's locker because of that. So this time around, I think it's been a sort of a more versatile and fun approach so far, at least. What else have we got here? The sprint boost and smoke bomb, situationally very useful. I've enjoyed having both. Sprint boost I've always liked when I've had it in the falconry tree, and in the fullness of time, actually, we might end up going in the falconry tree. 20 odd points in there for more helpless damage is certainly an option for us moving forward. I'm not doing it now because we don't have enough points to get to the business end of it for the helpless thing, but it's certainly an option. The amount of stuff we're freezing and greater colour spraying, both of which cause helpless, I think we could certainly look to that in the future. I think that's about it. I know we've done this quest in the past a time or three on the channel, but I think it's a good opportunity to show the array of tools available to us to overcome various challenges in our path. I've chosen it as well because I know there are a number of shrines along the way.
A magical barrier built by the silver flame.
And this build is still fairly thirsty. Anytime today, people. I think we're gonna get some spiders, aren't we? So straight away, let's see if we can demonstrate our AoE potential. Are we not gonna get some spiders? Oh, I think I have to kill the frog before the thing moves on. Okay. Is that right? What's happening here? Have I broken the quest by doing a frog there? I think I may have done. Oh dear. Yeah, she's supposed to... Oh, well, that's interesting. She's supposed to... When he's killed, she's supposed to activate, isn't she? And she's not doing. Okay, let's do that again. Well done. Another epic fail. So note to self, don't turn that one to a frog. I wonder if there are, because there are some Rakshasa further down engaged in a bit of a conversation as well. I'll better be wary of that. I've also lost myself some spell points there, because now when you enter a Reaper quest, it doesn't automatically recharge the spell points, sadly. It's only on quest completion, I think, that happens. Attempt 2. Now she's talking. Okay, let's see if we can catch her as well in the AoE. All done? Good. That's my favourite combination. It was the first time around, and there's nothing more satisfying than flash freeze and a big AoE. Now, those are my little finishers. A bit painful, but at least they don't use up too many spell points. So those are the sort of mini finishers for a smaller group. I'm using still the Inflict Serious Mass and then the Caustic Overload. They work quite well against slightly reduced numbers. Against a big group like this, Flash Freeze, Multivile, everything just gone. Now's going to be the ultimate test. Can I actually get in there to do the...
drow here are intently
We've got 2 Reapers in there as well. This is going to be a test now of our potential. That was beautiful. Happy days. Went with the colour spray first on the Reapers because we can't otherwise crowd control a Reaper. Let's see if we can get right in the middle of all this again. sometimes if you get lucky, some of the outlying things will come wandering into your little death circle while you're preparing to launch the multi-vial.
The only way forward is down into Kyber's depths.
So we do actually have a shrine here. I tell you what, I'm going to use it. We already lost some spell points with that glitch at the start, so I'm going to err on the side of caution here. I think the happiest times for this build are going to come in Epic from 23 onwards, once the evergreen thing kicks in, and I'm just not bothering about mana conservation anymore. It's going to be mayhem. Can't wait. Oh, oh, oh. Can we get everybody in together, including the caster? There's a Reaper somewhere in there. Okay. A bit clunky, but that wasn't the build's fault, that was mine.
Flickering torchlight illuminates a curiously well-worn path.
Now, do I really want to go into the middle of all that stuff? I guess I'm committed. Happy days. The AoE, well, obviously it's an AoE, but the wide circle on that just makes it really, really deadly. Now I've completely disoriented myself. I don't know if I'm going back the way I came here. No.
Is eerily quiet.
Right, you, sir, could do with being frogged. He saved the bugger. What will we do now? Same one again? Yeah. That was clumsy, just clumsy. Could have done a lot better. So you would expect them to have heavy fortification, those things, wouldn't you? Our frog is on a 49 now, so not too shabby, but we are approaching epic, so we need to be pushing on with that if we want to be successful with it. Super convenient, that sprint boost, when you're just wanting to go quite quickly from one area to the next. Now, can we try the... No, we're not going to try the frog, we're going to go with the... I don't want that thing loose at all. I'll tell you what, we'll frog the one at the back. Okay. Unfortunately, you can't quicken the healing spells, any of them. That's one of the slight downsides to the class, but it is only slight in my opinion. I suppose the purists would argue that when you're in a real pinch and you need a heal to trigger, you need it to be more reliable than that, but I think we can manage. Now, do I take that one as well? Is there another one before the end? The answer is I don't know. We're going to take it. We're not losing too much time, are we? I think there may be one more before the end. this gold skin. That in conjunction with displacement, if you're playing on lower levels of Reaper, they're super nice defense. Well, that was a bit of a cock-up. I don't know what went wrong there. Okay, now can we just get tangled up in all these so we can... I've got a Reaper in there, so we need the colour spray as well. Nice, that was much better. Now you, frog. Yes! Get down! Fear Reaper, colour spray, flash freeze, big booming multi-vial, and most of it disappeared, not all. Froggy to finish. Yeah.
The heat grows more oppressive as the path drops
I
deeper
think...
into the heart of Khyber.
No, we don't have a shrine yet, do we? Now these I'm going to have to be careful, aren't I? If turning the previous one to a frog caused an issue, it could cause an issue here as well, so I'm not going to tempt fate. We're going to kill them properly. Oh! That'll do. I don't know whether we have to kill this one as well, or whether she'll just collapse everything. There we go. Please tell me we can go on. I shouldn't now. Shrine, yeah, better do it. There's quite a... There's quite a way to go in there in the end fight. Don't want to be running short of mana in there. Okay.
A drow magic barrier bars entry into a massive cavern beyond.
Okay, let's go. And one thing to note, I'm maybe because of the number of buttons on the screen, I'm not making use of Glue Bomb. Now, Glue Bomb is the one AoE hold that we have that can be done from range. So we could do for example, there are going to be things appearing here. We could totally talk to this person, Glue Bomb onto there, and then follow it with Multi-Vial, and I'm sure that would work well. But I'm doing between Greater Colour Spray and Flash Freeze. I just seem to have settled on that, and a third crowd control. It would be good, especially as it's the range one that we lack at the moment. But I just don't seem to be able to work it into my play style or the button slots I've got available. So we're going to have to try and grab these like so. Also, moving forward, if we are going to go with the falconry tree for helpless damage, we're going to want things that cause helpless, which means Greater Colour Spray and Flash Freeze. Step into our parlour, people. No, we want to stand next to the ranged and then freeze everybody. I don't want any outliers. It's a good way of making best use of our spell point pool as well. Oh, Reaper, you can die in and amongst, I hope. Almost. Not quite. Oh, what's going on there? Lag? What? Okay. Carnage Reaper at the back there. I'll wait for him to make himself known. Missed him. Used the others as a bit of a shield there. Yeah, that was a bit lucky. Now that is a mess. Now, can we do some healing? Yes, beautiful. Get the gold skin up, displacement up. Let's get everybody in here. That'll do. We're getting towards the business end. Yeah, once these go down, that's it, I think. Okay, let's do it, people. Let's have all the boosts on. Let's go for this one first. Elemental combo. Is that girl dead already? I think she is. Okay. Absolutely hammered that one, didn't we? Beautiful. Happy days. The only slight downside, as I just remembered there, to using any boost, you put your others on cooldown, and even if it's a boost that is not part of the Alchemist, so if we use an action boost human spell power there, see the sprint boost, which I wanted to use just to save a couple of seconds, went on cooldown. That's the bear wondering where I've got to. I think we'll call that a do. Do we actually want that? No, I don't think we do. I don't tend to bother feeding things to sentient gems unless they're epic ones. Okay. I thought that went pretty well, all things considered. We did see as well there the risk element, despite the relative survivability we have now with 30 DR from the gold skin plus displacement. Jumping in the middle of a pile of opponents when you have defenses like this is probably not the most advisable strategy in the world, unless you can lay down some quick and effective crowd control like the flash freeze is. So I guess it's high risk, high reward, because Multivile wants to be, you know, right in the middle of everything. The safer one would be the glue bomb and then the Multivile, and I'm sure that would be pretty effective. But for some reason I'm preferring the flash freeze. Maybe I'm an adrenaline junkie, I don't know. Or maybe I just like the effect of everything just shattering and being in there in the middle as the dust clears and think, yes, maybe it's that. But I think for better or worse, that's going to be our way forward. So yeah, between the greater colour spray and the flash freeze, I think that's the plan going forward. And froggy to finish. That might become our catchphrase. Instead of the bird, we'll call it froggy to finish. Right, thank you very much as always for looking, and I'll speak to you next time. Take care.